All right, welcome. All right, hey, so I'm just gonna practice a video. So our little secret. And yeah, I'm gonna be talking about AI today. And I'm gonna record the video tomorrow. But thought I would just have a bit of a practice run with you if you wanna hang out. Let's see, is that working? Sweet, all right. I'll warm up my voice. Hello, Lerato. Welcome. Good to be with you. Alright, I'm just reading the notes. I haven't really practiced this video too much, so I'm just practicing this for a video that I'm going to record tomorrow. Thought I'd just practice it with you so I can get into the flow. Alright, I think we're good. I often enjoy just freestyling these videos anyway. Alright, let's give it a go, shall we? Might be looking down to my notes here, but that's cool. Alright, welcome. Hey. So with the release of DeepSeek, China has almost overnight appeared as a global AI superpower. And that has sent shockwaves through the American government and economic markets. And everyone's been asking, will America be able to maintain its dominance? Well, I think there's a deeper question that isn't being asked as much, which is that how can we prevent an AI war, and how can we use AI as a tool to support and serve humanity instead of it running away and destroying us? I want to share the perspective today of 4 ancient philosophers who are going to give us 4 different perspectives on how we can wield the power of AI. Because as you already know, AI does have the risk that it can continue to concentrate power in the hands of corporations and governments. It can divide us through creating separate realities where our minds are manipulated by AI. Let's have a look at what other things. In warfare, for example, AI is now being able to choose who to kill without human interference. And AI is a powerful tool that's happening, and we're going to explore in our first idea from the first philosopher of the reality of how AI is unfolding. But can we shape AI as something that serves humanity instead of something that destroys it? So let's go to our first philosopher, Lao Tzu, who is the founder of Taoist philosophy. And in one of the chapters of his foundational book, he says, if you're trying to control the world, you won't succeed. That which you try and grasp hold too hard onto, you lose. And DeepSeek is a good example of that. So America, fearing the rise of China with AI, controlled its most advanced chips. It didn't allow them to go into China. Now, instead of actually dampening China's AI innovation, this increased it, because what DeepSeek needed to do is to have the same amount of computing power with less chips. And so they made a more innovative AI model, which used a lot less resources than the leading American models. So this is a classic example of the paradox of resistance. We normally think like what we resist, we can put away, the shadow in our own psyche. I don't want to look at all of that pain and trauma. And we think we're running away from it. But actually, all of that energy that we're resisting, it persists and actually leaks out. So this is the paradox of resistance that Lao Tzu talks about. That actually, if we can instead begin to work with reality. I have absolutely mixed ideas around whether AI is going to be good for us. I feel like, we can sort out our life problems without AI, and it's going to become so powerful that it's going to, put millions and billions of people out of work. But it's happening. And, in a global world, we can't control it. So if we try and control it, it's like trying to dam a river. This is another metaphor that the Taoists use. And if we try and dam a river, it's going to leak out. It's either going to flood the valley or eventually the dam will break. Instead of damming this AI energy, can we instead guide it? So it's like canals. Instead of just damming the river, can we put irrigation channels? So we direct the flow of the water in a way that serves humanity. How can we do that? One principle is decentralization of AI. If we look to nature, nature has been so resilient for so many millions and billions of years because there isn't somebody in the forest telling the birds what notes to sing or how high the trees to grow. Everything is decentralized from the bottom up. And in some ways, the DeepSeek innovation is good news for humanity because it shows that it's not just ChatGPT, OpenAI that control AI, but instead actually innovation can be happening around the world, which is good news because say like the internet, for example, the infrastructure of the internet isn't controlled by anyone. It's decentralized, which means it's resilient, and it could be that AI eventually gets to that place. Ironically, OpenAI are called OpenAI. They should be called Closed AI because they want to be the next Google. They want to have monopoly profits and control AI infrastructure. But what if it was decentralized? And for the main video that I'll record and it will come out over the next couple of weeks, I'll share some links around how AI could be decentralized. And so then that removes this need for, America versus China, who's going to win the AI race? Actually, if AI is decentralized, then that means that we don't have corporations or governments controlling so much of our lives, as we'll explore. All right, so that's principle 1 from Lao Tzu. Let's go on to our second philosopher, Confucius. So Confucius is an ancient Chinese philosopher. And if we got to the idea with our last philosopher that we can't control AI, does that mean that we're just helpless then? That we just got to allow it to take over? Well, we can shape AI as we explored. Another key idea from Confucius around how to shape AI to make this safe for humanity is to think about ethics and morality. Confucius said that a true benevolent leader leads with such strong morality that he then eventually becomes, or they become, like the North Star in the night sky, where the whole sky rotates around them. There's a natural gravity, and that's without power over. It's not through terror and domination that the North Star is the center of our night sky. In the same way, a benevolent leader can be the same. In the same way that the grass bends to the wind without the grass feeling resentful or resisting the wind. The same way that the winds of morality and goodness and ethics can flow through a country, can flow through this world, if there is the appropriate leadership. Now, how can we have a more moral, ethical government? And in some ways, what we're seeing with America at the moment is America tapping and stepping out of the moral leadership that it at least professed to claim. Over the past decades, America sold democracy and freedom. It's that, hey, we'll come in with our army to liberate you, but at least then your people can have democracy and choose for themselves. And then capitalism, which has been very effective at making people wealthy, you can have that as well. Now, in return, America, had their corporations come in and extract resources from countries from around the world, put military bases around the world. So, the American empire is something that, me growing up, I didn't really realize just how in the sphere, the hegemon, the global power America was. Now, this did serve American interest in terms of global power and corporate profits. But as we are seeing that, the people at home in America, they didn't get the money. And so feeling that poverty, well, why should I continue to allow corporations around the world to take the jobs away from America? Because it benefits America as a whole when actually I'm feeling poverty. So although, I'm a Democrat and believe in freedom, America's moral leadership has corrupted and has meant that there isn't really that moral leadership. And America now with Trump is stepping into America first protectionism and tapping out of climate change, for example. So that does leave then some space for moral leadership on the global scale, and it's be interesting to see what China can offer, because China's communism with Chinese characteristics wasn't really something that other countries were that interested in following. But if there was a country that could step into, morality that all of us, the vast majority of us at least, want to be living in a fair, moral society. And if a country had to choose between the same amount of power and influence and wealth with one country that was tyrannical and manipulative versus one country that gave them the same power and wealth but was leading with benevolence and virtue, that country would naturally go to that sphere of influence with virtue. So it's not that naive. Like, it does feel like we are stepping away from a time of rules-based order and morality, which is challenging. But it's not totally an insane idea. And it can be that maybe after this time of increasing chaos that we can come out the other side again learning the lessons of selfishness, short-sightedness as not being a way to really lead to sustainable power. Coming back to AI now, is that, okay, we are in this idea of a global war of America and China, the two AI superpowers, who's going to dominate? And it could be that there's another option, which is that we don't see AI as a tool of domination. Instead, we see it as a tool to serve humanity. And therefore, we create global institutions that can at least create some accountability to bring the best out of AI instead of this being a bipolar battle between two countries. So that's Confucius's wisdom on how we could be supported. I'd like to move to our third philosopher now, Zhuangzi, who is another Taoist philosopher. Zhuangzi's most famous line is maybe something that you've heard before, is one day Zhuangzi was sleeping and he dreamed that he was a butterfly. He then woke up and he wasn't quite sure if he was Zhuangzi who just dreamed he was a butterfly or now a butterfly dreaming that he's Zhuangzi. Yeah, that's deep, yo. So there's kind of questioning around, what is reality? Who am I really? Am I really in as much control as I think I am? how attached I am to this physical form. Like, I am George and this is me for sure. And Zhuangzi, even if he may not actually think he's a butterfly, wants to just point, prod us and just say, hey, like, are you really aware here? Are you really seeing with clarity? Because maybe things are more complicated and mysterious than you thought. So bringing this to AI is that, are we programming AI or is AI programming us? Are we dreaming up AI or is AI dreaming up us? Who's the master? Who's the servant? Who's serving who? And already, AI, ChatGPT was only released in 2022. So it's like so early on. Or 3.0 was released in 2022. We're so early on in this. And, already algorithms and AI are shaping our lives, shaping our preferences. We know with social media that, my reality is separate from yours because your YouTube algorithm is different from mine. And then we're probably quite similar since you're watching this. So then there's the people that, believe that climate change is a hoax made up by billionaire paedophile elites in order to control us, versus the reality of releasing millions and billions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere every year does warm the whole planet. So as you know, we're divided, and the algorithms support that because the algorithms give us what helps us stay on the platform. And so then the corporations can serve advertising to us so that they can make money out of our attention. So AI already is shaping our preferences and the way that we relate to the world in media, in social media. And here's quite a powerful sentence. It's like, for your children or the children in your life in 10 years' time, say, they will not know a world that isn't shaped by AI. They won't know a reality that isn't shaped by AI. So yes, we as human beings do the programming, but then through the information that is revealed to us, that programs our thoughts and beliefs and then stories about who we are, how we understand our world, our politics, how we vote. So Zhuangzi, even thousands of years ago, he was warning about this. He's got a story of a farmer who was seen plowing the field with just like his bare hands and maybe a shovel. And Confucius in this story, written by Zhuangzi, says, hey, there's a plow. Have you heard of a plow? When the ox pulls the plow for you to till the fields, why don't you use that? And this character, this farmer that is a voice piece for Zhuangzi's philosophy, says, no, I don't want to become a mechanical being. I'll lose myself to the technology. And in some ways we are becoming mechanical beings, like we become cookie cutter copies of one another where, we eat in the same McDonald's, say, and we watch the same videos and consume the same sort of news. And so then we become an output really of these corporate systems that profit from shaping our beliefs and our actions. So Zhuangzi wants us to really find who we are, to come to a sense of clarity and to find spontaneity and joy and freedom that can only come from really understanding who we are deeply, instead of just relying on the mechanical, technological world. So practically, what does that look like for you and I? Is like, doing our work, doing our meditation practice, finding clarity as to how the mind and heart works, getting into nature, playing spontaneous creative expression. And in so doing, we not only fill our lives with joy, but we actually have the radical act of breaking out of AI that will continue to dominate us. So let's move to our fourth and final philosopher, Huineng. His classic phrase is, the finger pointing at the moon is not the moon itself. What does that mean? So we're on a journey to understand how We can use AI as a tool to support the flourishing of humanity instead of something that will destroy us and civilization. And we've talked about these dynamics between warring countries believing that they need to dominate one another. The finger pointing at the moon is not the moon is a classic phrase from Zen Buddhism. And it helps us understand the nature of what's really important. And it's not knowledge. It's not knowledge. One of the myths of our society is that knowledge is going to save us. If AI just works out the new super drug and works out responses to the climate crisis, then we'll be saved by AI. But we already, in our current state, without AI, have the knowledge as to how to create a world that can support 8 billion human beings in a way that we can live in peace. The hard bit is living that, to actually create that world. Knowledge is not enough. It's human wisdom that is needed. Because after all, it is us that wield the power of this technology. So the finger pointing at the moon is not the moon is an idea that, in teachings, if you want to find peace and happiness and joy, you go to maybe a teacher and they say, look, peace and happiness and joy is this way. That's how you get there. But if you are then just obsessed with their fingers, just like the words that they're using, the knowledge that they are presenting to you, you are lost in knowledge, and really you need to step beyond into your lived experience to go find the truth for yourself. So can we let go of the words and actually remember that it's wisdom, it's experiential, that is important. And so practically for you and I is to just watch those myths and those stories that technology is going to save us, that more and more information and knowledge is going to save us, because wisdom has to be a lived experience from every single human being. All of us contributing to the greater wisdom of our species. We can do it. We have so much beautiful potential as human beings to flourish. Balance is possible for you, for me, for humanity. But these are serious times with big potential consequences for us as a species. And so can we take responsibility, the ability to choose our response, to contribute our bit, our energy, in terms of our own understanding, our self-care, so that we are resilient and resourced. And then if you feel called to be of service to life, to contribute your gifts in small ways or big ways. It can be just being, that compassionate, wiser self with your relationships, or it could be then donating money, donating time, activism, politics. It's a scary prospect of stepping into the arena with so much chaos and ignorance dominating our world currently. But life, it's no understatement to say, well, thank you. Life with its great resilient wisdom. And so those are the ideas of 4 philosophers. I hope these ideas can serve you. I'd love to get your thoughts now and some questions and any offerings. And I'm going to be on for another 12 minutes or so. I'm just practicing this video at the moment. I'm going to record it properly tomorrow. And welcoming your thoughts. Thanks for listening. 29 of you from all around the world. Yeah. So hi Celerana, awesome that you were joining me for some Tai Chi, really glad to hear that. And Cypher, do butterflies dream? Well, dogs dream, right? You see all the videos of them like running in their dreams. Dogs have much more advanced nervous systems and brains than butterflies do. So dreaming is not just something for us human beings. So how far does it go back? Does it go to butterflies? Who knows? There may be images represented in the minds of the butterflies when they sleep, but I don't know. Good mystery. Cypher sharing, machines dehumanize. When knowledge speaks, wisdom listens. Yeah, beautiful. So the classic phrase in Taoism, those who speak do not know, those who know do not speak. So yeah, Lao Tzu quite a few times says, shut the mouth, keep that energy within. And then from that space, you're not leaking your energy, and then you gain clarity from that higher energy. Yeah. So that can be a tool for us as well, is to, yeah, just not always need to battle. And that's something that, as I step into, I'm on this mission to advocate for our potential and this beautiful planet that we are come from, and in my view should protect. There's parts of me that are scared, it's like stepping into the arena and, eventually getting invited to speak on panels maybe about, the ideas that I share. And yeah, I guess like I take the Taoist approach of, I don't need to fight people. I don't need to be in conflict. And I am conflict averse in my nervous system. I'm a freezer, not a fighter. And the Taoist wisdom really tells us that, yeah, you don't need to convince everyone. And like, why are you trying so hard to say what the truth is? What are you projecting onto other people? What stuff haven't you sorted in yourself to need to convince and be evangelical about, this is how the world should be? So close your mouth, conserve your energy, find that clarity. And then from that space, if you feel called to, then expressing your truth without attachment to changing other people's opinions. So I do feel that non-attachment, and I do feel like I'm speaking from a place of service to life, and I trust that. But it's also scary, right? Speaking about, these sort of things in AI. So so Rana's saying, did not expect your channel to focus on things like that. And yeah, it's people and planet. That's what I'm passionate about. My mission statement is inspiring balance for people and planet. And I'm doing a master's in global prosperity at UCL in London next year. So yeah, beginning to step into the more economic and the systemic, which is, I studied economics at university, something that I'm passionate about as well. Larato from South Africa, I believe that's that flag, correct me if I'm wrong. There's a saying that let your flesh die. We consume so much, yet we don't want to protect our planet. Yeah, and in the meditation journey is to connect with this body. So I'm not just a disembodied psyche, and actually I am this embodied being, 36 trillion cells all coming together, the emergent experience of being a human being. In meditation, I connect with my body, and then the more I sit in stillness, the more I connect with the earth body, which surely is an extension of myself, because with every breath that I take, I'm powered by the plants. With every meal I eat, I'm powered by the plants. I'm literally held up by the earth. The earth has the magnetic field that protects us from fiery rays, from burning and incinerating the whole planet. That earth body protects us. We are like a cell on the body of the planet. And yet we forget that. And our society gives us these myths and lies that, if you just consume this thing, then you'll be happy and enough. And you just got to keep consuming. And wait a sec, happiness is always in the future, because if you don't keep consuming, then society fails, because we are built upon economic growth, whether or not we flourish, instead of flourishing, whether or not we grow. Madness. The only people who think exponential growth on a finite planet is possible are mad people and economists. Yeah. I use AI locally to read my Zen down Buddhism into AI to help me. So I love ChatGPT. Me and ChatGPT are good friends. It's a writing partner. It's so good. Just to give you one example, I was writing a video when I was in China called The Way of the Immortals, Ancient Secrets to Astonishing Longevity. Never quite fully made the film. But there's a video coming out on the channel in the coming months, a smaller version of the film I'd like to make. And I wrote it, and then like I always want to write first, because or else ChatGPT will like create my ideas for me, and I don't want to do that, because then I don't exercise that idea creation muscle for my own insight coming from my own knowledge and wisdom. But then like ChatGPT is a great writing partner. So for that video, I was like, ChatGPT, could you find me a sentence, like a mantra, to repeat throughout the video so that we can really get the core theme of the video? And ChatGPT said, the way of nature, or the way of the immortals is to follow the way of nature. I was like, mic drop. Damn, ChatGPT, you got it straight on. The way of the immortals is to follow the way of nature. So that was even 2 years ago, year and a half ago. So, and already ChatGPT and AI has come on so much. So yeah, it's how we use it. Whistle through the forest to regain our oneness with nature. Nice. My purpose is to aid co-creating a parallel world based on reciprocity, wisdom, fairness, health, unity, and harmony. As to why is to have strength too, developing physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Full power is, William, that's epic. It's a very beautiful vision that you have there. And yeah, that strength is the foundation upon your service. Self-care is not self-indulgence. It is the foundation from which we can serve. All right, beautiful beings. So yeah, I'll end it there. And thank you for listening. I'm going to record this video tomorrow or today, and then it will be out on the channel maybe next week. And yeah, thank you so much. Sending lots of love. Have a fab day.